Good morning guys, welcome to Videos Online Academy tutorial. Thanks for watching our videos online. Please, if you are not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do well to press subscribe button and the notification bell in order to see all of our educative videos online. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends, families, relatives and colleagues at home. Thank you and God bless you. Today we are going to continue with a topic called coordinate geometry of straight line. We are talking about a line. A line is what? Is a distance between two dots. That is, a line connects two dots together. And specifically, we are talking about straight line. Straight line is a line that connects two dots together, and each dot is called coordinate, represented by what? X, comma what? X, comma y. Each point, which is called coordinate, is represented by what? X, comma what? Y. For instance, now when you have what? This is an example of what? Of a straight line. This is an example of a straight line having what? Having x1, y1 as the first coordinate, and what? X2, y what? Y2 as the what? Second what? Coordinate. Now, and this straight line can what? Can be represented on what? On a graph. We can sketch out our straight line on a what? On a graph. Now, for instance, now we all know that every graph has a vertical axis and what? The horizontal axis what? X. So we have what? Let me say we have what? A vertical axis of y and a horizontal axis of what? X. So this is positive what? X axis. When you extend it to this point, now we have what? Negative what? X axis. And when you extend this one, now we have what? Negative y what? Axis. We have what? A positive what? X axis, the negative X axis, the what? The y positive X, y axis, and the what? Negative what? Y axis. Now, when a straight line, for instance, let's take for instance now we have a what? A straight line. Now here, this is the what? The point that the straight line connects to. So, for instance, if we have what? A straight line now. That's what? This is a straight line, and here is the first point. We can name it what? Here we can name it what? X what? X1 as well. X1 comma what? Y1, and this one is what? X2 comma what? Y what? Y2. So the coordinate for this was straight line. Now this point here we call it what? Point of intersection on what? On y. We call it what? Intercept on y what? Axis. Intercept, and it is usually represented by what? Usually represented by what? By C. It is usually represented by C. So we represent what? Point on what? Point that intercepts on the y axis with what? With letter C. And the gradient of the what? Of the straight line, which is what? The gradient of the straight line is something like this. A gradient of the straight line, which is also known as what? The slope, the gradient, or the slope M. The slope M, the gradient or slope M of a straight line. So the gradient, that is the gradient or the slope of a straight line, is given as what? Is given as the gradient or slope of straight line is given as or can be obtained, is given as M equal to what? Equal to y2 minus y1 over m2 over x2 minus what? X1. So it is change in what? Change in y, because this will be what? This will be your what? Change in y. This is y what? Y1, y2, and this will be what? X1 and what? X what? X2. So this is X1. You trace it like this. Trace it down here, and trace this one and this one. So we have what? We have what? Your y2 here, your y1 here. If you trace it down to this will be your y1. This one will be what? Your x1, and this one will be what? Your x what? 2. So to calculate the gradient of what? Of a straight line, we have what? We have m. The gradient also of y of a straight line is given as what? M equal to y2 minus what? y1 over x2 minus what? x1. Now, the equation of this straight line, the equation of the straight line is given as what? The equation of any straight line can be expressed as what? Can be expressed as now the equation of any straight line can be expressed as y equal to mx plus what? C. Now the equation of any straight line can be expressed as what? Y equal to what? Mx plus C. This is the coordinates of what? Of any 2 points on what? On the straight line, and this m is the slope, which is the gradient, and this C is what? M, where m is equal to what? Gradient, which we have already talked about, the gradient or what? Or slope. Remember that the gradient or slope of a straight line is given as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. While C is what? Y intercept, that is intercept on y what? Axis, y intercept, and x are what? X and y are the what? Are coordinates, are point on the what? Straight line. Their point is what? Is the point on what? On the straight line. Or coordinate on the straight line is the point or coordinates of the straight line. Anyway, of the straight line. You can note. So there is the point or coordinate of the on the straight line is the point or coordinate on the what? Of the straight line. Now, where what? X or y is the what? Is the point or coordinate of what? Of any what? Straight line given. So is the point or coordinate. While x, y is the point or coordinate of the what? Of the straight line. So this is what? This is few calculations that we do under okay. Now x, y is what? Is the point or coordinate of the straight line. Also, we can also calculate what? The distance L. The distance L between what? 2 points. Distance L between 2 points. That is the distance from here. The distance L between 2 points, which is represented as L like this. Distance L between these 2 points. So the distance L, distance joining 2 points together can be obtained. Distance joining what? Joining 2 points together. 2 points, joining 2 points. Joining 2 points. For instance, x1 and what? X1, y1 and x2, what? y2 is can be obtained. Distance joining two points to distance joining 2 points denoted as what? Denoted as what? As L. Denoted as L can be determined by so the distance joining 2 points denoted as L can be determined by, now L is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 or what? Square plus what? y2 minus what? y1 or what? Or square. Don't forget there is a what? There is square root. So we use what? The distance joining this what? 2 points. This point 1, this point 2. So point 2 here. The distance joining them together, we can use L equal to square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 or what? Or square. So square root of x2 minus x1 square plus square root of bracket y2 minus y1 or what? Or square. Also, we can also determine the midpoint. Provided by a venture that we have what? The middle of the midpoint here. Here we have what? The midpoint, which we call x and what? The midpoint what? So as we there is a point here which we call mid what? The midpoint. The mid what? The midpoint. The midpoint. You can also calculate the what? The coordinate along the what? Along the middle of the what? Of the straight line. So to obtain the coordinate of the midpoint, that is the midpoint, to obtain the midpoint of the straight line, to obtain the midpoint of the straight line, use what? Xm to obtain the midpoint. Xm equals to x1 plus what? X2 over what? Over 2. Why? For the y-axis now, we use what? For the y, use xm equals to what? Y1 plus what? Y2 divided by what? 2. So the coordinate along the midpoint will be what? The coordinate, the midpoint what? Coordinate will be what? Will be what? X, or the midpoint what? Coordinate will be what? Will be x m comma what? Comma y what? Y m. So these are the what? These are the calculations that we use under what? Under the coordinate geometry of what? Of straight line. But let's go to answering the question before us, so as to know how to apply this formula in solving the problems. So question number 1 says that find the gradient of line passing through the point P1. We are asked to calculate what? The gradient. Look at the word gradient. Gradient means what? The slope. Calculate what? The gradient of the line passing through the point P. Now, we are asked to calculate what? Number 1 here says calculate the what? The gradient. The gradient M. Calculate the gradient M of the what? Of the line passing through the point. Now this is the point 1 on the what? Comma 1, then and what? Between the points P 1, comma 1 and what? And Q. And Q, which is the second point, that is 2, comma what? 5. 2, comma 5. So we are asked to calculate what? The gradient. Now you recall that our gradient, which is M or slope, which is given as what? Y2 minus Y1 over what? X2 minus what? X1. Now, how do you now get your Y2, Y1 and X2, X1? To get this one is very, very easy. Just says that this is X1, you know that this is what? This is also what? Y1. So we need that what? Your X1 is 1 and your Y1 is what? 1. Your X2, this X2, the Y what? Y2, comma Y2. So now, meaning that your X1 here is 1, your Y1 here is what? 1, your X2 here is 2, and your Y2 here is what? 5. So substituting the values now, we have what? Our gradient to be what? Your Y2 is what? 5 minus what? Your Y1, which is what? 1. 5 minus 1 over, now your X2 here is what? 2. And your what? And your X1 here is what? Is 1 itself. So 2 minus 1 will give you what? 5 minus 1 is what? 4 over 1. So answer here is what? 4. Your M here is equal to what? 4. So that's the final answer. M here is what? 4. As simple as what? As that. As simple as that. So it's what? It should be a bonus for you in any exam. Find the equation of a line parallel to what? Now we have to find the equation. Find the equation. Now, what equation are we looking for here? The equation number 2. The equation we are looking for here is the equation of the straight line. Equation of what? Of straight line. Now, that straight line that we are asked, the equation of the straight line that we are asked to find is parallel. Find the equation of a line parallel to this equation. Parallel to what? This equation of another line. Now, find the equation of a what? A line parallel to y equal to minus 4x plus 2 passing through the what? The point what? 2, comma what? 3. Now, we are asked to find the equation of a straight line that is parallel to this. Now, we are given another what? Another equation which is y equal to what? Minus what? 4x plus what? Plus 2. We are given another equation which is minus what? 4x plus what? 2. Now, the first thing is to determine what? The slope of this what? of this line given to us, determine the slope of this line given to us, so as to be able to use it to get what equation of the straight line we are talking about. So just recall that the equation of any straight line is given as what? Y equal to mx plus what? C. When you relate this thing together now, we can see that this m here will be equal to -4 because they look alike. C is 2, m will be -4, and so on and so forth. So the slope of this what? Of this equation or the straight line given to us is what? -4. So the slope of the referential what? Line given to us is -4. So because they tell us that the equation of this straight line now that we are about to obtain is parallel. It's parallel. Now this straight line that we are about, the equation of the straight line we are about to obtain here is parallel to this what? It's parallel to the equation of this. It's parallel to what? To this what? To the equation of what? So this line is parallel to the what? To the given line with what? With equation. So meaning that this will have the same slope as well. They are going to have the same slope. So since they are going to have the same slope, now they are going to have the same slope. We are not saying that what? So since they are going to have the same slope, so that's why we have to find what? The slope of what? Of this of the what? Of the line given to us. So we find what? So as you can see that this line is parallel to this line, so they are going to have the same what? Slope. So the slope of this is also what? Equal to what? 4. So now to now calculate what? The equation of a line now that is parallel to this equation of what? Of a line passing through the what? The point. Now the new point given to us now is what? 2, what? 3. Now we know that to get our slope, to get our what? Our equation of what? Of what? Of line, the correct equation of straight line, we are going to use what? Y minus what? X. Okay. Y minus y1, that is the new one that you are given now, equal to what? M into bracket what? X minus x1. Where this is our x1, this is our what? Y1. So in other words now, we are going to have what? Y minus what? Y1, which is 3, equal to what? Open bracket what? What is the x? X here is what? 2. Sorry, x here will be remain as x, and what? M equal to open bracket s. Okay. X minus what? Okay. Using the formula y equal to minus y2 equal to m open bracket s minus x1, we have what? Y minus what? What's the y1 here is what? 3. That's the y1 here is 3. Equal to your m now is what? Minus what? Minus 4. So this is going to be minus 4 open bracket what? X minus what? Minus 2. So we have what? Y minus 3 equal to minus 4x plus what? 8. Minus 4x plus what? Plus 8. So in other words now, to transfer this one to the other side, what do we have? So when you transfer this one to y equal to what? Minus 4x plus 8 plus 8 what? Plus what? 3. So we have what? Y equal to 4 minus 4x. Y equal to minus 4x plus what? 11. Now this is supposed to be what? The equation of what? Of the what? Of the line we have to what? Calculate. But this time around they equate the option here to be equal to 0. So we are going to transfer everything to the other side so as to have 0. So in other words now, your equation of the line will now become y equal to plus 4x. When you transfer this one to the other side, when you transfer this and you transfer also this, so when you cross what? The equality what? Sign, and because the equality sign, this one become positive. Y plus 4x minus 11 equal to what? 0. Which option is that? Option what? C. Option C. Now the next one is find the distance between what? Next question is find the distance between 2 points. That is distance between 2 points. You have to calculate the distance between 2 points, which is L. So the distance between 2 points L is given as what? About 3 number 3 question. Distance between 2 points A is given as what? Square root of x2 minus x1 or what? Square plus what? y2 minus y1 or square. So we have to calculate what? Distance between 2 points. Now the first point given to us is what? Half comma half. And the second point is what? Second point is what? Minus 1 over 2 comma minus 1 over 2. So now, given this one now, we are going to have what? This is x1, y1. So comma. So x1, y1. This is what? x2, y2. So separated by comma. Now look at this now. To substitute this value now, what do we have? We have what? We have open bracket what? X2 is what? Minus 1 over 2. Look at this one. Minus 1 over 2 minus x1, which is 1 over 2, all what? Square. Plus open bracket y2. Y2 is minus 1 over 2 minus 1 over what? 2. Y2 is minus 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, all what? Square. So we have L equal to now. Since this one is what? Square root. Now, this one is what? This one is having the same denominator. You add what? Denominator together. So this is minus 2 over 2 all square plus minus what? Minus 1 minus what? Minus 1. It will be minus 2 over what? 2 all square. Now, when furthermore with this one now, we are going to have minus 2 over 2 will give you minus 1. So minus 2 divided by what? By 2 will give minus 1. So you have minus 1 all square plus what? Minus 1 all what? Square. Minus 1 all square, minus 1 all what? Square. Now, so minus 1 all square plus minus 1 square will be L equal to root what? 1 plus 1. Minus 1 square minus 1 square. 1 plus 1, so it will be what? Root what? 2. The answer here is what? Root 2. Root 2, we have the answer here. Root what? Root 2. Option what? D. Option D. This is root 2. So 1 plus 1 is equal to what? 2. Root 2. So that is about that. Question number 4. Question number 4 says that what is the value of R if the distance between 2 points? What is the value of R if the distance between the points open bracket 4, 2 and 1, R is 3 units? What will be the value of what? R. We are calculating the value of R if between the points this and what? This. So what if the distance between these 2 points now, between the 2 points 4, 1, okay, what is the value of R if the distance between the points 4, 2 and what? And 1, R is what? 3 units. Now, the distance between the 2 points 4, 2 and what? And 1, R is what? Is 3 units. That is the L is what? Is L equal to what? 3. So we are asked to calculate what? We are asked to calculate the value of what? R. Now to get this one now, we know that L is equal to square root of what? X2 minus X1 or what? Square plus what? Y2 minus Y1 or what? Square. So we have to get this one now. We have to label this one as what? X1, Y1. And get it very well. X1, Y1, X2, Y what? 2. So we have what? So in order to substitute this value now, we have L is what? Remember that your L is what? Equal to 3. So 3 is equal to X2 now is 1 minus X1. X2 is 1 minus 4 or what? Square. Now plus what? Y2. Y2 is what? R minus what? Minus Y1. R minus Y1. Okay. r, look at this, y2 minus y1 over r minus 2, r minus 2 all square, r minus 2 all square. What do we have here? We have 3 will be equivalent to what? 3 will be equal to what? 1 minus 4 will be what? Minus what? 3 all square plus r minus 2 all square. Please note that this is plus. So now 3 will now be equal to square root of what? 4. Okay. What do you have here? Minus 3 all square is what? 9 plus r minus 2 all square. The best thing now is to square what? Square what? Both sides. Square what? Square both sides. So, and the square both sides, you have 3 square equal to what? A square 3 square, you have 3 square here. And this what? A square this one and this one 3 square. So this one cancel out. So we have what? 9 equal to what? 9 plus what? R minus 2 all square. So when I square both sides, square will cancel square root. This thing square will be what? 9. So I have this one, what they have now? They have. So here you can easily transfer this one to here. So we have what? 9 minus 9 equal to what? 9 minus 1 equal to what? R minus 2 all what? Square. So my 9 minus 9 will give what? 0. 0 is equal to what? R minus 2 all what? All square. Now you can decide to take square root of both sides. So I would like you to take square root of what? Both sides from here. Now let me move to the other one so that you can see it. Is equal to what? 0 is equal to r minus 2 all what? All square. 0 is equal to r minus 2 all square. So you take square root of both sides. Take square root of what? Square root of both what? Both sides. So when you take square root of 0 will be equal to what? R minus 2 raised to the power what? 2 square root. This one cancel out. 0 square root of 0 is 0 equal to what? R minus 2. So when you transfer the word R to the other side, you have what? 0 plus 2 equal to what? R. R equal to what? 2. So R here is equal to what? 2. Option what? Option B. R is equal to what? 2. Number 5 now. So I'm showing number 5. So here's question number 5. So question number 5 says that find the gradient of a line which is perpendicular to the line with equation what? 3x. Now we have to find a gradient of a line which is perpendicular. Please know that. Now the line we have to find now, the equation that we are find the gradient of a line which is perpendicular to the line with equation now. So we have to find the gradient which is m of a line which is perpendicular to another line which is perpendicular to another line like this of equation 3 what? 3x plus what? 2y plus 1 equal to 0. Now that equation that this line is perpendicular to, that what line that this given line is perpendicular to is 3x plus what? 2y plus 1 equal to what? 0. Find the gradient of a line which is perpendicular to the line with equation what? 3x plus 2y plus 1 equals 0. So this is a line that we have to calculate the slope m. It's perpendicular to another straight line which has equation of what? Straight line 3x plus 2y plus 1 equals to what? 0. So how do we go about this? We know that for what? The product, note that the product of two perpendicular straight line, the product of two perpendicular product, note that note the product of the slope, the product of the gradient, the product of the gradients of the product of the gradient of any two perpendicular what? Any two perpendicular what? Straight line is given as what? Is given as m multiplied by m1 minus what? 1. Now, m multiplied by m1 equal to minus 1. So the product of the gradients of any two perpendicular what? Line. Any two perpendicular what? Line. Perpendicular what? Line. So the gradient of the product of the gradient, of any two perpendicular straight lines is what? Is given as, please note that this is very, very important, is given as what? M multiplied by m1 equal to minus what? 1. M multiplied by m1 equals minus. So it means that if this is m, this one will be what? M1. The slope of this one will be m, and the slope of the what? Of the second line will be what? M1. So meaning that all we just need to do is to get what? The m1 of this and multiply it with what? M to give us minus 1. So to get what? The slope of 2x plus 2y plus 1 equal to 0 now. To get this one now, you have to rearrange this so that it will look like the what? The equation of what? Rearrange this such as we are going to have something like this. Y equal to what? mx plus c. We have to rearrange this and relate it to this. Now, this will be 2y equal to, now take the other one to the other side, this one and to the other side. So as to look like this. So now we have what? 2y equal to 0 minus 3x minus 1. So we have what? 2y equal to minus 3x minus 1. So you divide through. Divide through by what? 2. Divide through by what? 2. By 2. So you have what? 2y over 2 equal to what? Minus 3x over what? 2 equal to minus 1. Okay, minus 1 over what? 2. So that is what we call divide through by what? 2. So this one cancels out. So we have y equal to minus 3 over 2x minus 1 over 2. So from here now, when we relate it to this word, when we relate this to this, that is y equal to what? mx plus c. You can see that your c is minus what? Minus 1 over 2, and your m is what? Your m is minus what? M here, m1 here. I use for m1 here. So this is the slope of this. So m1 here is equivalent to what? Minus 3 over what? 2. Minus 3 over 2. So in order to get the what? In order to get the m, which is the what? The slope for the what? The gradient for the second what? For the second line here. So it's going to be what? M multiplied by what? m1 equal to what? Minus 1. Please note that. So which is equal to now, what's your m? M is the second line multiplied by what? My m1, that will just get minus 3 over what? 2 equal to minus 1. So in this case now, just say m times minus 2 is minus m all over what? 2 equal to minus 1. So cross multiply, you have what? Minus 3m equal to what? Minus 3m times 1 is minus 3m. 2 times 1 minus 1 is what? Minus what? 2. Minus 3m times 1 is minus 3m. 2 times minus 1 will give what? Minus what? 2. So divide both sides by minus what? 3. So this one cancels out now. So n minus cancel minus, it become plus. So you don't need to write that plus. So it comes, this one just cancel out. So we have 2 over what? 3. So the answer here is 2 over what? 3. 2 over 3, option what? B. Option B. Option B. Now the midpoint of P comma x. Now the midpoint of, that's question number what? 6 now. Question number 6. They said the midpoint of P, this is the first point, S, Y, and Q, 8, 6 is 5, 8. Now we are told that the midpoint 5, 8 is the midpoint. SM, don't forget, YM, or what? XM, YM is the midpoint of P, S, Y, and what? And is the midpoint of P and what? And Q, 8, 6. So find XY. So we have to find XY. So how do you do that? This one is XY already. So call this one X1, Y2. This one is XY already. So call this one what? X1, Y1. So now recall that the midpoint of any what? Of any straight line for x as you got xm equal to x1 plus what? X2 over what? Over 2. Now that's for x. Now remember that the midpoint for x is what? Is 5. And x1 is taken as our x. Or let's take this one as our xm now. Let's take this one as our what? X1, X2, X1, comma what? X1, comma Y1. And this one is X2, comma Y what? 2. So your X1 is saved as X given in the question. So your X1 is saved as what? X. So X1 is saved as X plus what? X2. X2 is what? Your 8 over what? 2. So by cross multiplication, we have 2 times what? We cross multiply is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. Equal to x plus what? 8. So transferring this one to the other side now, we have 10 minus 8 equal to what? X. Definitely x equal to what? 2. X is equal to 2 for this. Now for y midpoint is equal to y1 plus y2 divided by what? 2. So what's your y midpoint? The y midpoint is what? 8 equal to. The y midpoint is 8 equal to. What's your y1? Your y1 is ordinary y. The y2 is ordinary what? 6 over what? 2. So when you cross multiply, definitely you have what? 2 times 8. You have 16 equal to what? Y plus what? 6. So you take this one to the other side. We have y equal to what? We have what? 16 minus 6 equal to y. Definitely y is equal to what? 10. So your value of p now will now be for x is what? 2. And for y is what? 10. So 2 comma what? 10. 2 comma 10. That is option what? A. Now another one that look alike the same is what? If the midpoint of line PQ is 2, 3. If the midpoint of line PQ is 2, 3 and point P is what? Minus 2, minus 1. Find the coordinate of Q. This also look alike. It's also similar to what? To this. So let's just, it's also similar to this. So we are told that what? PQ has middle point of what? The midpoint of PQ, line PQ has a middle point. If this is PQ, the middle point is what? The middle point is 2, what? 3. So you can call this one XM, YM. So now, and what? And the point P is minus 2, minus 1. Point P is minus 2, minus 1. We are now asked to calculate the coordinate of Q. So point P is what? Minus 2, 1. But we don't know that of what? Q. Q is unknown. We don't know that of Q. So what we do now is that label this one what? Label this one x1, y1. This one will now be what? X2, y2. So calculating this now, we have xm equal to what? X1 plus what? X2 divided by 2. Now look at this. What's your xm? That is 2 equal to minus what? 2 plus x2. So that is what? 4 equal to minus 2 plus x2. So command now, when you transfer this one to the other side, so this one will give, or you transfer this minus 2 to the other side, this will be what? X2 equal to 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6. This is 6 for the x what? Now for the y, ym is equal to what? Y1 plus what? Y2 over what? Over 2. So ym, what's your ym is 3 equal to y1 is what? 1 plus y2. So over 2 by cross multiplication, we have 6 equal to 1 plus y2. Definitely when you transfer this one now, we have what? Y2 equal to 6 minus 1, which is equal to what? 5. 6 minus 5, 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. So if y2 is equal to what? X2 is equal to 6. X2 is equal to 6 and y2 is equal to 5. So 6 comma what? 5. 6 comma 5, 6 comma 5, 6 comma 5. Option what? Option B. Option B. Lastly, question number 8. Find the equation of a line 2 point minus 2, 1 and minus 1 over 2, 4. Find the equation of straight line. So we have to find the equation of what? Straight line 2 what? Points minus 2 comma 1. That is x1, x1, y1. Please note that. And what? Points what? 2 and point 2 minus 1 over 2 comma what? 4 bracket close. This is x2, y what? 2. x2, y2. So the next thing to do here, if you are looking for, is to find the slope first. Find the slope, or note that whenever you are given something like this, whenever you are given something, two coordinates, and you have to calculate what? The equation of the straight line, just use x, just use y minus y1 over what? X minus x1 equal to the slope. Know the slope m is equal as what? y2 minus y1. The slope m equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus what? X1. That's the formula to calculate for the what? To get what? This is the formula for obtaining what? The equation of a straight line given that the 2 points is what? Is expressed. Like for example, this is what? This is the formula for calculating what? The equation of what? Of straight line, provided that the 2 points of the straight line is provided. Now we have what? y1 minus y2 over what? So y1, what's your y1 here? Is 1. Sorry. So this is the formula you are going to use. Now the y is unknown, so y is to be left as y. So y, your y1 here is what? Minus 1 now. Your y should be left as y. Y minus y1 is 1. So y minus 1 over what? X minus x1, which is what? Minus 2. Y minus y1, which is 1. That's why we have y minus y here. X minus 2. equal to y2 now. y2 is 4 minus y1, which is 1, over x2, which is what? Minus 1 over 2 minus 2. My x is what? x2 is minus 1 over 2 minus 2. Do you get that? So from here now we have what? We have y minus 1 over what? X plus what? 2 equal to 4 minus what? 1 is what? 3. Y half plus minus half plus 2. Now everything now we now give what? Y minus 1 over x plus 2 equal to 3 over minus 1 over 2 plus 2. It will give what? That is 1 and a half. 1 and a half. And 1 and a half is equal to 3 over what? 2. So 3 over 2. Here you can see y minus 1 over x plus 2. This one will goes up. This one will be 3 times 2 over what? 3, because this is divide. And when divide change multiplication, this one goes up and the what? The 2 will come up and the 3 will go down. So this one will cancel out. So we have y minus 1 over x plus 2 equal to what? Everything we have here is what? 2 now. Cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, what do you have? Let me do it here. So this one will go, when you cross multiply, we have y minus 1 equal to what? 2 into bracket x plus what? 2. So we have y minus 1 equal to 2x plus 4. Take this one to the other side, we have what? Y equal to what? 2x plus 4 plus 1. Y equal to what? 2x. That equal to 2x plus what? 5. Y equal to 2x plus what? 5. Final answer. That is the question for the line. So note that if we are told to what? Calculate the what? The equation of a line given to what? 2 points on the straight line, you have to use this word expression. And to use this expression. So the option here is 2 equal to 2x plus 5. Option what? B. We have come to the end of today's class. Please, if you are not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do well to press the subscribe button and the notification bell in order to see all of our educative videos. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends, families, and relatives.